There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
We are gathered here today in unity as one in the center of love. Corinthians, the way of love. If I speak with human eloquence, angelic ecstasy, but don't love, I'm nothing but the creaking of a rusty gate. If I speak God's word with power, revealing all his mysteries and making everything plain as day, and if I have faith that says to mountains, jump, but I don't love, I'm nothing. If I give everything I own and even go to the stake to be burned as martyr, but don't love, I've gotten nowhere. No matter what I say, what I believe, and what I do, I'm bankrupt without love. Love never gives up. Love cares more for others than for self. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Love doesn't strut, doesn't have a swelled head, doesn't force itself on others, isn't always me first, doesn't fly off the handle, doesn't keep score of the sins of others, doesn't revel when others grovel, takes pleasure in the flowering truth, learns forgiveness, trusts God always looks for the best, never looks back, but keeps going to the end. Love never dies. Inspired speech will be over someday. Understanding will reach its limit. We know only a portion of the truth and what we say about God. God is always complete. But when complete arrives, our incompletes will be canceled. When I was an infant at my mother's breast, I gurgled and cooed like an infant. When I grew up, I left those infant ways for good. We don't yet see things clearly. We're squinting in a fog, peering through the mist. But it won't be long before the weather clears and the sun shines bright. We'll see it all then. See it all as clearly as God sees us, knowing him directly just as he knows us. But for right now, until that completeness, we have 3 things to do to lead us towards that consummation. Trust steadily in God. Hope unswervingly. Love extravagantly. And the best of these 3 are love. May all our thoughts, words, and actions contribute to the happiness and love of all beings. And so it is.
Just before you say something you can't take away, take a breath and let it out. Try to think about what would love do now. Wondering if you should cross that line for good. Whatever you decide, ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we try for love. In the end, that's all we know that's real. Whether right or wrong doesn't matter, just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we die for love. In the end, that's all we know that's real. Whether right or wrong doesn't matter, just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Sing it with me, y'all. What would love do now? Before you cross that line for good, what would love do now? Ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Before you cross that line for good, before you beat up on yourself, just say it. What would love do now? Ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Thank you so much. Welcome everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Eddie Watkins Jr. and I'm here to sing and to say, mostly to sing, but it's not a concert. I'm here to just share some insight with you about the power of the pause. Not that pause. I'm talking about the pause where you wait, hold on a second, where you just like, hey, hold up, hey, that one. And the reason I play the song What Would Love Do Now is because that's the question for everything. Now, what I'm going to share with you today is like some powerful information. This is extremely powerful because I'm going to give you control over everything in your life. I'm going to give you some information right now where you can take total control over any situation that pops up in your life. Ready? This is what you control. Your mouth. Yeah, see, I'm not getting no amens on that one, am I? See, you don't want to hear that, but see, here's the deal. Here's the deal. When something triggers you and you feel emotional and you lash out, it's because something was triggered. Something was triggered inside of you. And you know, when you feel pain and you feel hurt, that's natural. That's pain. That's hurt. That's, you know, hurt allows you to know to not put your hand over a hot stove, you know, or how to adjust the temperature to your tea or whatever. But when you go into emotion is feelings of the past. Emotion is your feelings with the past. So after the initial hurt and after the initial pain is ouch. Now that is a true emotion, ouch. That's a feeling, ouch. I hurt. That hurt me. I was hurt by that, right? But when the conversation around the hurt starts, whether they ought to or they should have, that's emotion. That's when, and it can only be based on your past. It cannot be based on the moment because the moment said ouch. But the emotion and the story behind it says something totally different. So it's triggering some old pain. The only reason I'm bringing this up about the power of the pause is because just before you say something you can't take away, take a breath and let it out. This is where you have total control over every aspect of your life because even a fool can look wise if he remains silent. Inside of that pause, a lot of times is going to be some turbulence because inside of this pause, you're going to hear stuff like, well, God, they are, and like all this, it's going to be all of that. And you need to tell them right now, you need to give them a piece of your mind right now. They deserve it. They deserve it to hear it from you right now. Because they're out of line. They are wrong. This is totally unacceptable. Right? That's what you're thinking. Inside of that pause. So there's turbulence. That's why we need to stay prayed up. Because you have no power over that pause if you're not spiritually conditioned. Right? So you go out and you're in your car. Somebody swerves over in front of you and, say, and then they slow down. No, they didn't. They didn't do that. The first thing that happens is they didn't do that. They did it to you. Right? Now the person in that car, they don't know you. They don't. What my teacher used to tell me all the time, he said, Eddie, they're not doing it to you, they're just doing it. They don't care about you one way or the other, they're just doing what they do. And that's all I'm saying, is that a lot of times we'll get upset personally about something that someone does. It's just their way of doing things, right?
Amen.
But here's the deal. Unless you pause, you won't get to reflect on that part because your emotion is going to take over and you need to tell them off right away because they deserve it and they deserve to hear it now in exactly the way I want to do it because they got it coming. You know? That's right. When in reality, you're superimposing some of your past stuff onto this present situation. So inside of the power of the pause, and I'm going to give you a really good example about this is because the way this song was written, what we love to do now is I was in Detroit visiting my parents. And, my father was very ill. He passed away last October, actually. But he was very ill, and I'm at the kitchen table, and I'm trying to talk to my dad, and the TV's blasting. The news. It's Detroit, and it's the news, and it's blasting. It's bad, And see, that's what they do. They sit around and they watch the news, and T.D. Jakes and Joyce, whatever her name is, the Christian things. Joyce Myers, yeah. So all day long, I like T.D. Jakes. I like some of them, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I pick what I can use it and I move on. But the thing about it is, like, I'm trying to talk to my parents, I'm trying to talk to my dad, and the TV's blasting. I want to be respectful. I'm in their house. I don't live there, So I don't want to turn the TV down. So I take this opportunity to create a drama and to go back into my room with I don't get here that often. They need to know, and they need to this, and they, and everything was a they. So this is what's going to happen inside of your pause. But that's where your power is. Because where my power was, well, first of all, there was a piano in the room, and I got a song out of it. That's one of the things. But what the essence of this is that I had an attitude with my mother. I mean, come on now. Mom, really? What could mom really do? I mean, she'd have to be pretty terrible. And my mom is just the most amazing mom in the world. But the thing is like, my mother and my father, they have their life. I'm out of respect, but it was not out of respect. It was out of some fear that I had of speaking up. Has anybody had a fear of speaking up? Show of hands. Oh, I'm not alone. It feels good. Misery loves company. The thing is like, it was a fear that I had, and I superimposed that fear upon them. So I went back into the room, and I started thinking about my mom, and I thought about my mom, and I said, well, that's mom. And when you say the word mom, something happens in your heart. It just happens in your heart. Well, mom, mom. That's mom. So I went there with it, and I said, well, at least I didn't say nothing. And that's when I realized my greatest power. Because I was in control of what happened. If I would have lashed out, it would have created a certain vibration. It would have created a negative vibration in that household. It would have created a drama. And instead of me infecting my entire family with my drama, I went in and did some reflection. And when I reflected, everything looked different. When I reflected, I just went back in there and said, Mom, let me talk to you for a minute. She said, yeah, baby. I said, the TV's too loud. I'm trying to talk to Dad. Well, just turn it off.
Moms are good at that.
What kind of power are you releasing when you release your anger? What power are you giving up? And that's what this is about, is I'm just sharing information with you that's helped me along the way. I have a story for you about, I just came off of a tour, a very long tour. And, I had lots of different experiences out there, but it's good fodder for a talk. And, I'm in Texas, and I'm at a Walmart, right? And there's one of them good old boys. They come out on a big old truck. It's so high you can't even see him. It's got a big Confederate flag flying on the back of it, and the truck is in camouflage paint and everything, and he's, just rolling around and got the I don't love to be okay from us thing. And he's like driving around here and he's about to take out 2 shopping carts, right? He can't see them. So, reflex. I run and pull the carts out of the way, you know, and then I'm looking and I'm just pulling them out of the way. I say, what am I doing? You know, well, he could have knocked them out. He could have hit it. He could have ran into another car. I'm just being me. I'm just being who I am. And I thought about it. And I was saying, well, why should I stop being who I am because of who he is? And then who is he? I don't know who he is. I just know that he's got a Confederate flag on the back of his, it is a camouflage truck, and he's just like up in the air. He's just, but at the same time, reflex. Pulled the carts out of the way, didn't even look at them, just kept on walking, put the carts where they had to go, where they wouldn't run it, or bump into another car, you know, and I'm walking to my car. And then I hear, thank you. Wow. Wow. And then I sat in my car after that. What just happened? It was tiny, but it was big. It was huge for me. Because my personal feelings about that flag and about what it represents did not stop me from being who I am. And that's what I would urge everybody to do. I'm not urging you to be this or that, but if you're kind in your heart, and if you have love in your heart, do not downgrade yourself to fit somebody else's thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you know who you are. And you're just so beautiful. I mean, if everybody realized how beautiful they really are and what's been implanted in you, you know, there are things in you that you're probably still searching to find. These wonderful, magnificent things that are within you, things that want to be expressed. That's why we get prayed up. We stay prayed up. My teacher used to tell me it's your spiritual muscle. Your spiritual muscle is just like your muscle in your arm. The more you work it, the stronger it gets, you know? Now, I had that experience there, and, you know, that was sort of a life-changing experience for me, because it taught me that when you write songs like I write, the universe is going to give you the homework. Yeah. It's like, when I say I am the place where God shows up, the universe says, okay, well, here's a chance for you to prove it. You know, in every instant. So that's what's happened to me. So the power, within that power of the pause, is where all of our power is. I'd like to share something with you right now. This is a hard one when, oh my gosh, when things seem to be so out of alignment in the world. You come to a place like this on a Sunday, and you hear some good music, and you hear somebody say a couple of things that may, you know, resonate with you or whatever. Then what? Right? Anybody? Then what? You have to live it. You practice it. Well, as you're doing that, what you're doing is you're walking out of here and you're creating a vibration, and you take it with you into the world. And it's not about talking, or it's not about teaching anybody anything. It's about how you show up at your grocery store, at the post office. It's about how you show up in the world. And by you absorbing this vibration and going out and carrying it into the world, you're making the world a better place. We all are making this world. We're making a world that works for everyone. We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, we're amazing, and we've just begun to feel the power and freedom to be who we came here to be. As we discover each other and celebrate humanity, we are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, times are changing. It's a love revolution as we are walking together. Love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for everyone.